Welcome to the mythical creatures.
In the vast expanses of Australian lands, where the bush lives in eternal shadow, and swamps and reservoirs keep their ancient secrets, a creature has been hiding that for centuries inspired fear and awe in the hearts of those who dared to approach his possessions. This creature is known as the Bunyip, a mythical predator that lives in the reservoirs, swamps, and rivers of Australia. His image is so imprinted in the minds of Aborigines and settlers that legends about him are passed down from generation to generation, acquiring more and more new details. The legends of Bunyip originate in the cultures of the Aborigines of Australia, who have lived on this land for thousands of years, respecting its natural laws and fearing those creatures that lurk in its shadows. In their legends, Bunyip is represented as a ferocious guardian of the waters, a monster who punishes those who violate harmony with nature or dare to come too close to his possessions. The name Bunyip comes from the language of the Wiradjuri tribe, one of the largest Aboriginal tribes in Australia, and roughly translates as devil or evil spirit. However, descriptions of this creature vary from region to region. In some parts of the country, the Bunyip is presented as a huge beast with the body of a bull or a sea cow. In others as a water monster similar to a crocodile, but with a long neck and the head of a dog. The traditional stories that the Aborigines told to European settlers struck the imagination of the newcomers. Bunyip has always been described as a creature of incredible strength and terrifying appearance. His roar reverberated through the valleys like a harbinger of doom. Villagers were afraid to approach the swamps where, according to them, Bunyip lived, because no one returned if they were spotted by this monster. According to various myths, Bunyip could take different forms. One of the most common forms is a creature with the body of a bull or a giant dog, having a long neck, huge claws, and swimming membranes. Another version describes him as a giant seal with fangs, or even as a creature with the head of a bird and the body of a lizard. Regardless of the shape, all the legends have one thing in common. Bunyip is the embodiment of the power of the waters and a symbol of those natural forces that man cannot conquer. Interestingly, the Aborigines did not always see Bunyip as just an evil monster. In some stories, he acts as a guardian of reservoirs, a defender of those places that have been desecrated by man. Sometimes he was even described as a punishing spirit for breaking taboos. Water places were sacred to the Aborigines, and invading them without respect for nature could incur the wrath of Bunyip. First meetings with Europeans. When European settlers began to explore Australia in the 18th to 19th centuries, they soon heard about this strange creature from local tribes. The migrants, faced with new and unfamiliar conditions, were impressed by myths and stories about Australia's wild animals, many of which seemed truly exotic and frightening to them. However, Bunyip stood out from the rest. If crocodiles, kangaroos, and wombats could be seen, then Bunyip was elusive. Its existence remained in the realm of legends, but its mystery and inexplicability attracted the attention of researchers. In the middle of the 19th century, several expeditions tried to find evidence of the existence of this mysterious creature. In 1845, a strange skull was found in one of the lakes, which the locals identified as belonging to Bunyip. The skull was described as similar to that of a calf, but with uncharacteristically large eye sockets and oddly shaped teeth. This discovery attracted the attention of newspapers and the scientific community. However, it was later determined that the skull most likely belonged to a common marine mammal, possibly a seal. But the history of the skull still left a mark in cultural memory. It became a symbol of the mystery and unknowability of Australian nature. There are many stories of encounters with Bunyip recorded by European settlers and Aborigines. In the 1850s, several Australian newspapers published testimonies of people claiming to have seen this mythical creature. One such story came from the Mirangi area, where a local farmer allegedly encountered a Bunyip near a swampy river. According to him, the creature was about 12 feet long, almost 4 meters, with smooth black skin and a long neck. It glided quietly through the water, making no noise, but at the sight of a man, it let out a roar that caused the animals on the farm to run away in panic. Other stories paint a less aggressive image of Bunyip. In one of the myths of the Gunditch Mara tribe, Bunyip protects the water from intruders and helps those who are lost in the forests, showing them the way to the nearest reservoirs. In some versions of the legends, Bunyip is described as a being with supernatural wisdom and the ability to heal those who treat him with respect and reverence. However, not all stories about Bunyip have such a peaceful ending. According to more sinister versions of the myth, Bunyip steals children, taking them into the depths of the water if they play too close to the shore. In these legends, he acts as a kind of punishing spirit, reminding people of the dangers of the environment and the importance of respecting nature. Modern attempts to solve the riddle. With the growing interest in cryptozoology in the 20th century, many have tried to find an explanation for the legends of Bunyip. Some believe that the stories about Bunyip were just a distortion of reality caused by encounters with unknown or rare animals, such as large seals, paleontological finds of ancient fossils, or even meetings with representatives of extinct species. There is a hypothesis that the legends of Bunyip could be based on real memories of ancient animals in Australia, such as diprotodons, huge herbivorous mammals similar to modern wombats, but reaching the size of a hippopotamus. Another theory says that Bunyip may be a product of collective imagination and fear of the unknown. Australian reservoirs and swamps have always been a source of danger, especially for people who are not familiar with their features. Crocodiles, snakes, and other dangerous animals hide in the shadows of these places, and fear of them could contribute to the creation of the myth of Bunyip, the entity that embodies these hidden dangers. Some researchers associate the legends of Bunyip with the cultural experience of the Aborigines, their respect and fear of nature, which they saw as a source of life and death at the same time. Water resources have always been important for survival, and myths about the creature guarding these resources could serve as a kind of warning not to disrupt the natural balance. In recent decades, the image of Bunyip has not lost its relevance. He continues to live in the popular culture of Australia, appearing in literature, art, and even in children's books. In the 19th century, Bunyip was the hero of plays and poems. In the 20th century, he was the object of research by cryptozoologists and writers. And in the 21st century, he found his place in pop culture, including television shows, films, and video games.
Thanks for watching. It will be nice to see you again in the world of mythical creatures.